And we are back, and we just finished watching 2007's Wreck, rated R, with a runtime of 1 hour and 18 minutes. This movie comes from Spain and is directed by Jaume Balagueró and Paco Plaza, from a screenplay by Jaume Balagueró, Luiso, Berdejo, and Paco Plaza. This is the story of a woman reporter for, I guess, like a local little like morning program called While You Were Sleeping, and her cameraman, who go on this excursion with a local fire department to see the inner workings and I guess a day in the life of...
Yeah, basically show how firemen work and live.
And it starts out kind of boring enough. She's
uneventful.
She's very, very uneventful. She's hoping that they get called into something. And around 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe a little after, the call comes through.
Yep.
And it just goes horribly, horribly wrong really quickly.
She's only with 2 firefighters.
Yes, Manu and was it Alex? No, Alex. Oh, I was right.
Yes, and they.
Pablo was the cameraman, who you barely see.
I don't think you ever see him. You see his feet.
Yeah.
And maybe his arm. And the reporter was Angela, right?
Angela.
Yes.
Played by Manuela Velasco.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really well done. I remember the first time we saw this and just being completely overwhelmed at how crazy tense it was.
Yeah, it's very frenetic. It's of that genre of film where it's almost like a found footage film where everything is done through the point of view of
the cameraman, basically.
The cameraman. Sort of like how like Blair Witch, or
I
think that was probably the first one of its kind, and then there were a lot that came after that were sort of similar, but this one was
exceptional.
This one was probably
one of the better ones, if not the best one.
I would definitely say one of, if not the best one. I mean, there are bits where it's just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of the point. Yeah. And I think that was like one of the, I guess, benefits of that type of filmmaking, because you could make a scary monster type movie where you didn't really have to go nuts with the special effects, because while you do see things, there's not
like
really a lot
atmosphere.
It's mostly atmosphere. It's mostly just tension, people screaming, panicking. So yeah, there's a lot of you could hide a lot with that sort of thing. Although at the end, when you see that thing at the end, who I'm guessing is that actor who's like terribly skinny.
Mama?
Was it him? Yeah, was it Mama?
Possibly. I should look.
Because I mean, Jesus, that bit at the end was just
terrifying. Terrifying.
I mean, we're spoiling it a bit, but it's from 2007. If you haven't seen it, even with a bit of spoiling, it's good. I would definitely say check this one out. I forgot what that actor's name was, but he's like, if you think Doug Jones is skinny, this guy is. He's
ridiculous.
He puts Doug Jones to shame.
Is it this guy? What year did Mama come out? I don't even remember. He was the Slender Man in 2018. Slender Man. He was in Insidious as Keyface. He was the hobo in It.
Yes,
this dude works a lot.
Well, I mean,
this dude works a lot.
Hey, if you take advantage.
No, for sure. He was also in Crimson
What's
Peak.
it? Do you know what his name is?
Hold on a second. I'm still looking. Yeah, he was Mama in Mama. His name is Javier Botet.
Very unique looking man.
Yeah. Oh, he was in His House too? The Witch. I don't know, the Witch in His House. Was the thing in the walls?
Probably, yeah. I don't remember much about His House either.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of stuff on his film resume there. And it's funny because there's a picture of him. He looks normal.
Yeah.
But he's super skinny.
Takes his shirt off and you're just like, ah.
Yeah. Well, he's also abnormally tall.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure adds to the freakishness. But that aside, let's talk about it. Thoughts?
Like I said, this was one of those sort of like shaky cam found footage movies, but in my mind, this was the one that worked the best out of all of them.
Total standout. Agreed.
I mean, Blair Witch was good in that it was you were seeing something that you didn't really see. It was creative in that respect, but at the end of it all, you didn't really see anything.
Yeah.
That relied entirely upon atmosphere or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it did a good job, but I think
it did a good job, but this
amped it up.
Yeah, because this was like you are in peril, and
once it starts going downhill, it's like a boulder down
because it seems like they have things under control, kind of, and then
shit hits the fan.
Like that, basically when the health inspector comes and gives the injections to the two wounded guys, it's over.
Yeah.
Like once that happens, it just goes out of control, and it's sort of like you kind of like wonder, well, why is this happening so quickly now? But then by the end, you don't have to. You're not beholden to a scientific explanation for this.
Yeah.
Because of what you learned at the end. So
I mean, you could spoil it. I feel like you're being very cagey, but
I just don't like spoiling things. But cute. As I was saying, you're not really beholden to a scientific, like the health inspector was like, oh, it depends on your blood type how quickly you turn.
But that's not really what's going on.
How many blood types are there? And some people are just languishing and. I mean, the little girl, she was fine. It wasn't until it was oh, wait, we figured something out, and then she goes nuts.
She goes nuts, yeah. But even in, like, the later scene when the guy's like, what's going on with her eyes, too?
Yeah, like, she went from looking relatively normal to just...
looking possessed.
Just like a monster. That was another thing. It was like, it wasn't just wounds. They looked really messed up and crazy looking.
Yeah.
From what you could see, they did a very good job as far as like the shaky cam. Like you never really got a good look at that fat old lady's face.
No.
But you knew something was wrong with it, and she was just going berserk.
Yeah, and then she comes back.
And then she
again
comes back.
and again and again. Yeah.
There's like no putting them down.
Yeah.
This was good. It was funny because as I was watching it, it is a little bit slow and tedious at the beginning, especially when
because you don't know what's going to happen.
Before the call, you don't know what's going to happen. So I was like, maybe this film isn't going to hold up.
Yeah.
And then once it starts really picking up the pace,
it's off to the races.
You're just at a breakneck speed, and like the jump scare got me. Some of those jump scares actually got me.
I covered my face. I don't know if you noticed, but and I think I turned to you, but you weren't listening to me. I was like, okay, tell me when it's all over.
Yeah.
Your eyes are glued to the screen, though. I was just like, I'm going to hide my face now.
Yeah, I was like leaning forward in my chair. I'm like, what's going on?
We're like that guy at the end of Knives Out.
And of course, people do stupid things in it.
Of course,
like they see the creepy little girl, and I mean, come on, what's gonna happen.
You should go towards her.
Yeah, it's okay, little girl. It's okay.
Yeah, it's like, have you not been here this whole night?
Pay attention.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously, what was his name, Manu? He should have just been hitting everybody with that sledgehammer
right in the face.
As soon as shit's to hit the fan, it would just be like, okay, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if you're possessed or not.
Wham!
You're getting hit in the head with the hammer. Line up.
Yeah, I felt like I was rooting for him. It's so funny because we'd seen this once. I think we rented this, right? I think we did, yeah. It was like a rental, and then like we were both horribly, horribly impressed with it. And
there was a while there where we were just renting Spanish. Like horror
stuff. Yeah,
we saw this, and I think soon after we saw like Time Crimes,
which was good,
which is also very good.
Yeah, and it has that like low budget feel.
Yeah,
right?
They're both like sort of low budget.
Yeah,
but really
well done. Yeah,
I mean it's great when like a filmmaker can like really work with the fact that we don't have a lot of money here, so let's do what we can. I mean, like Guillermo del Toro's like lower budget stuff,
like Kronos, or Devil's
Backbone, or even like Pan's Labyrinth, which apparently didn't have as big a budget.
Yeah,
excellent.
All around,
excellent. And then you just dump a buttload of money on them, and you get
like
Hellboy 2. And it's just like, oh man.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have not given him that much money.
It's so funny. It's so funny that you said that because I still think about that. Like the first Hellboy was so damn good.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was a lot of studio interference, and I don't think there was a lot of maybe faith in the project. And I think he got to do whatever he wanted, and it was such a good film. And because that did so well, there was probably the second time around a lot of studio interference. I mean, he got like a ton of money, but I'm sure everybody had their hot hands in that script because it didn't feel.
I don't think so. I think he got basically they gave him enough rope to hang himself with there.
No.
I think that was all him.
Well, it was. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think they wanted the project to fail. It's just
I just think it was a little bit too indulgent and not enough. That story was just.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Actually, the story was all right. It was just the script that was not good.
And that ending was stupid.
The ending was dumb, and the romance that he was like really trying to cram in there.
Yeah.
All right, we're reviewing the wrong movie. But this was really well done.
Yeah, and it's only an hour and 18 minutes. It's not a long film, but again, like I want to highlight what you said. Once it gets to that point where it picks up steam, it is full throttle, and it doesn't stop. It does not stop. I mean, I think even like our oldest watched on and off with us, and at first, I don't think she was into the whole shaky cam thing. She hated it. But then I think as the story progressed and she was more into the story, she was like, what is happening? Yeah.
Well, after a while, you just become acclimatized to it. I
guess so. Yeah.
It's not as
jarring,
or it doesn't bother you as much.
I do agree with you, though. It is a hard thing to pull off, but I think that the filmmakers here did a really good job with it. I think the story really worked, and I think keeping it at that lower time length also helped, because if you couldn't do a 2-hour movie like that. That would be like overkill.
That's something I wish more people would do nowadays is that there's a type of movie that doesn't need to be over 2 hours, and this is that type of movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like just creepy horror stuff like that.
Yeah, 90 minutes is the sweet spot.
Yeah, unless you're going for like some sort of like really like prestige sort of horror, like maybe Hereditary or something like that. But this is people running around, getting bitten, going crazy. You don't need to move that more than an hour and a half. And if you want to tell more story, make a freaking sequel.
Sure. I mean, this
thing I believe had
sequels
2,
up the wazoo,
and an American remake.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I ever saw.
Quarantine. Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen it either. I mean, we should probably check it out. Yeah, I would like to see the other Wreck movies because we never really saw the other ones.
No, the only thing I know about I think the second one is that there's like. It's like a married couple who are like the main protagonists. That's about it, I think. And I think it takes place at an airport.
I don't know. I don't know anything about any of those films. All I know is that we saw this. I think it was a rental. We loved it. And then for years, because I think I even said this to you, I was like, why isn't this movie streaming anywhere?
I think, well, it was streaming, but it was streaming on like those platforms that you have to watch like a bajillion commercials.
Really? I don't remember it streaming anywhere.
Didn't you say it was streaming on like Tubi and Pluto or whatever?
I don't remember that.
And that's why, because I think you mentioned it to me, and you're like, oh, it is streaming on this, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, we don't want to do.
You definitely don't want to watch this with like
Pluto commercials.
Suddenly, hey, my retirement fund is coming up. Annoying commercials like that.
This is a movie that you want to watch from start to finish.
Yeah.
And not take breaks.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that tension.
No.
And that's what this film does. It just ramps up tension as it goes.
Yeah. To the point where you feel sick. I mean, like I was towards the end, I was like,
yeah, the penthouse apartment was creepy.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to tap out. And I was like, I know it's short, but it was so funny because like it felt like some of it felt familiar, but then like I think I turned to you and I was like, do you remember how this ends? Because I don't remember a damn thing about the ending. Like certain things while we were watching it, I was like, oh, I remember that. But then
I remember it ending with that shot, because that shot has been mimicked and copied in so many movies and cartoons.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm pretty sure that was
Teen
in
Titans.
Gumball as well.
Teen
Titans.
I feel like Teen Titans is like always stealing stuff off the pop culture landscape.
Yeah, I mean that shot is
pretty iconic at this point.
Copied so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember, I remember the first time we saw it, and I was just, floored at how good that was. Yeah, because we like horror films. And again, this, obviously, horror films done well, and this is done very, very, very well.
Yes.
Anything else you want to add? I feel like there's not really much to critique
There's not much
here.
to say. If you want a scary movie that doesn't overstay its welcome.
And is scary.
And is genuinely scary and
a
lot of crazy stuff going on.
There's horror, and there's also kind of a supernatural element towards the end. Do we want to talk about that or no?
Well, it basically sort of takes the whole idea of...
Because it felt like a zombie movie at first.
Yeah, like sort of almost more like a 28 Days Later.
Yes, like The Infected, right.
Because in the beginning, you just think it's just infected people. But could it be zombies? Because the fat lady and the Colombian girl, you thought they were dead, but apparently not.
Yeah.
And then later on, you find out that there's even another facet to the whole thing.
Right.
So it's very as far as I guess a creature or a monster type thing that's in the movie, they definitely layered it.
Yes. Yeah, because at the end
it switches it up. You think it's one thing, then it becomes another, and then it's something else.
Yeah. And even the thing that we see in the penthouse, like G was like, "Oh, this reminds me of such and such."
Yeah.
So I think also that portion of the film has been parodied to shit as well.
Yeah, I could definitely see Barbarian being influenced by...
Yeah, and even something like Smile, which was the thing that was going to come up after.
Shit.
I mean, it's a crap movie, but watching that film, you can see that it's been influenced by other things.
Yeah, but I would say Smile probably got influenced by Barbarian.
I don't know. I mean, they both came out around the same time.
That is true.
I would still think that whoever made, I'm not even going to look, but whoever the people that made Smile are just horror fans that just did little nods to things that they were into.
Smile is garbage. Watch this instead.
Yeah, watch this or Barbarian, which is also a superior film. Yeah, but this was outstanding, and don't let the fact that it's a film from Spain dissuade you. I mean, there are subtitles, but I think you can also watch a dubbed version of it. So do not sleep on this film. This is probably, if you like horror, if you like storytelling, if you want to get into film, this is definitely worth your time. I think how this film is presented, how it's laid out, is a good kind of field guide for storytelling. Yeah. This is, like you pointed out, this is a particular style of storytelling, and this movie knocks it out of the park.
Yeah, they do a great job.
They do an amazing job with this film. Nothing's wasted. There's no filler in this. Again,
and it's a small contained set. There's not much really changes. I think there's probably 3 or 4 different areas that these people
are running around.
Once they're in the building, there's the main hallway, the first apartment, the textile room, and then the penthouse.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So, it's very self-contained. I mean, in the beginning, you see more they're outdoors, they're at the firehouse, and it is kind of a slow burn, but once it gets to where it's going, it's off to the races. Anything else you want to add, or?
Nah, I think we're repeating ourselves. So
yeah.
Let's
okay. Yeah. So 1 to 10.
Oh, I'd give this an 8.
8. I'm gonna give this a 9. I think it's pretty flawless on all fronts. As far as the actors go, they all do a really great job. The woman who played Angela, completely convinced at her terror. completely. All the other characters, there's not a lot. Like you mentioned, there's the Asian family and the older couple and the guy the older gentleman who tells them about the key and stuff like that. The young intern, medical student, whatever. So, I mean, there's not too many people in this, but everyone does a really great job. Shout out to the little girl, Jennifer, who also, you think about kid actors and the things that they have to do. And it's always funny because I just had my film discussion group and we were talking about The Exorcist and how Linda Blair was expected to do these really crazy things in this film. And again, here, this is a scary film.
Yeah.
And Jennifer is even younger than young Linda Blair in this. And she's expected to do these things and to portray this possessed kid, I guess. I don't know. And it's handled very well. So shout out to that little kid because creepy kids are like, they can be scary. The little boy in the ring, Samara in the ring.
What did they ever in this movie? There was the little Asian kid.
He disappeared.
But at the end in the penthouse, when he puts the camera up there and he turns the camera and he's looking around, the face that you see doesn't look like the face of the thing at the end.
No.
It looked like the little Asian kid. Which doesn't make sense to me because how the hell would he have gotten there?
I didn't think that
when he was turning to that, it looked like a little kid.
It did look like a little kid, but I didn't think it was a little Asian kid. I thought it was the little girl in the newspaper.
I thought the thing there was the little girl.
Yeah, it should be, right? Because the newspaper was old.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was the little boy. I don't know.
Freeze frame on that.
Yeah.
Because it had like a little black hair, very matted to his head. Either that or that kid got out somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because his mom and dad, they were running around like crazy people.
Yeah. Everybody got infected. Nobody survived.
Yeah. Sorry for the spoilers, folks.
Yeah.
It's a horror film.
Yeah. Chances are no. I mean, there's always like the one last girl standing, but not here.
Well, there was a last girl standing, but
I don't think so.
I don't think she. Yeah.
I don't think she survived. All right, so 8 and 9, definitely go over to. We saw this on Prime, right?
Yeah, it's free on Prime.
It's free.
Make sure you watch
Prime.
the free one on Prime because if you go on your Fire Stick or whatever and you just say rec, it'll bring you 2 choices, and one of them is through some sort of crappy app that you're going to have to watch commercials
Tubi or
to.
Pluto TV
Vix
or Freevee or Wix or something.
Wix or Vix or something.
Something,
like that.
yeah.
Some app I've never heard of.
We're not going to download it?
No.
Again, just total horror deliciousness. 19. No. Why did I say 19? 2007? 2007's Wreck with a runtime of, I'm sorry, I got off the IMDb page, from 2007, rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 18 minutes. I think, did it say 2008 on IMDb or on the streamer?
Who cares?
Because you want to differentiate, because I think one of them said 2007.
They were the same movie, though.
It was?
Yeah, it was just one was on that Wix app and the other one was on Prime.
Oh, yeah. All right. I thought they were different because I thought one was 1 year.
No, they're
both.
They're both the same. The only difference is the one on Prime is Rec, and then it's ESP, which just means that's in Spanish.
Yeah.
The other one, I'm guessing the one on Wix is maybe the dubbed version.
Yeah.
Although weirdly enough, when you preview it on the Amazon Prime version, she's speaking in some like high pitched, English voice.
All right. Well, yeah.
Either way, watch it without commercials.
Yeah, watch it without commercials. Go on over to Prime Video and check out 2007's Wreck. Again, rated R, not for children, with a runtime of 1 hour and 18 minutes. You will not regret it. And that's it from us. And we will bid you all a
good night.
Good night.